If I had learned this 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had to go into $1 million in debt to save my business, and I'd be collecting $50,000 a month more in profit right now. My name is Spencer Robbins. I've been in the emotional health space for around a decade, and I've realized that a lot of my business owner friends really struggle to get past $1 million per year in revenue. Now, I'm not the biggest business out there, and I'm not the smartest person on YouTube talking about business, but I have collected almost $15 million in revenue in one of my businesses, and I've watched business content for some time now, and when I was growing my business to $500,000 per month, I didn't see a lot of practical, nitty-gritty advice or help, and I had to make a lot of mistakes to learn. So my goal is to create videos like this to hopefully help a business owner like you to avoid those same pitfalls I made, and hopefully it feels fresh and applicable and relatable. Smash that subscribe button, throw us a like so we feel better about ourselves, and then hit the notification bell so that you find out about those videos and you don't find out about those videos a month later and miss out on them. So because of a mistake I made 14 months ago, I'm paying roughly $40,000 in debt every single month. Luckily, we're still projected to profit around $70,000 this month after owner pay and after debt payments, but still, it hurts to know that this was fully avoidable. All right, you see, at the end of 2021, our economy really started getting hit hard. I believe that Biden was a huge source of the economic downfall, as he's frankly an idiot. Either way, people were a lot less likely to spend money on anything, as there was a bunch of scarcity and people were paying back stimulus money and they weren't getting any more government handouts. It was also a problem caused by the new iOS updates, in which people had to opt in to get tracked by marketers. So targeting got way worse, and paid media and call costs for our company went way up. But at the time, we had such an amazing few years of business, and besides what happened externally in economy, I personally had this belief that our business was invincible to downturns and to loss and to having to pivot. Our marketing and lead gen costs, though, had gotten up to $250,000 per month. And I remember literally spending $8,500 a day across YouTube ads, Instagram, and Facebook ads, and we were testing literally everything. We doubled our program cost, but sales percentages went from 20% down to 5%. We tried a million other ad creatives, new audiences. We even re-recorded our VSL webinar like 20 times, trying to get something more effective. Meanwhile, with our team of 45 employees, our margins were getting worse and worse and worse until the tail end of the year. We had a month where we went negative $70,000, another month where we did negative $80,000, and another we did negative $90,000. I was stressing out so much. I felt like a failure. I had so much anxiety. It had never felt like an option, though, to let our team go. I was avoiding that scary situation, and I also didn't want to face my own shame that I couldn't turn this around. So I took out loans, and we maxed out our American Express cards to almost $350,000. We had totaled over $900,000 in debt by February of 2022, and we had just bought a new home that we renovated with hundreds of thousands of personal dollars, and we were still taking losses. I literally had a mentor tell me to close down everything, shut down our business, and I was distraught. I prayed about that, though, with my wife. We carefully considered, even though this mentor was way smarter than we were, we didn't feel like that was fully the option we wanted to go with. And so after we considered everything, we decided we could only make this work for a short time if we cut over half of our team. So I had my assistant at the time book 12 back-to-back 10-minute appointments on Monday, and I let go of 12 people in a row while crying and going through, honestly, one of the hardest things I've ever done. And by the end of the week, my wife and I had let go of 22 people. Well, within 30 days, we had created a new offer. We recorded 52 hours of course content, an entirely new marketing funnel, a sales process, script. I had personally closed over $430,000 of sales over Zoom in March on sales calls, almost all profit, that knocked out almost a third of our debt. And things have been hard since, but have been on the up and up, and we've gotten profitable. But I learned so much more in the failure of that season than I have during any of my wins in other seasons. Here's the big lesson I learned. As much as you love your team, you love people, you love your company's employees, their livelihood is not your responsibility. I know, crazy thought, right? My whole life, I felt and believed that if I had the ability to love someone, that I should. But that externally driven demand has burnt me out in multiple seasons. Real love comes from an overflow. Real love and care comes from you giving from a full tank. You see, I took over responsibility and actually began making shame-based and guilt-based decisions to care for our team instead of with wisdom. I believed if I don't take care of them and keep paying them, they won't make it, and that makes me a bad person. The truth is that no business is ever perfect, and no business can control all the factors of economy and outside influences. Also, if the business truly died, then I would have been guaranteed to not be able to pay them. But then it would have cost a lot more for other people as well as myself. Also, I could pay those employees a little longer with money I didn't have so that I could medicate my shame and my guilt about the problem. Most people see the rewards and profits of successful entrepreneurs without seeing the liabilities and the risks associated with their outsized returns. Most of the population carries judgments towards anyone wealthier than they are to protect themselves from their own fears of inadequacy. But while we had raging profits for most of the time in business before this past year, I had never learned why it's important to live small. You see, not all profit goes towards spending on all of the consumable things that you want, like cars, jewelry, and things. Right now, I've learned that profits go towards saving up for all of the liabilities that you can't foresee as a business owner. You know, it's saving up for those months where business may not be good. It's saving up for having 6 months of operating expenses in your operating account. It's saving up for the ability to grow your business in the future. It's saving up for compressed margins when you decide to scale again later. You know, profits can't just be something that the business owner consumes with consumable things, because then you'll end up in a situation like mine where you don't have ample time and space to solve problems. You know, you'll force yourself to live up with your back against the wall. And business owners can't live in reaction to the judgments of other people that put that guilt and shame on you for not being able to take care of them. The truth is that all of the employees that we had to let go that week, as hard as it was to do that, they were not our responsibility. And you know what? That's actually what they told us when we let them go. They told us they love us and that they understand because we hired amazing people. It was our responsibility to pay them while they were an asset to the business and they worked for us. But they ceased becoming an asset when the business went through a downturn because they had become a liability. We didn't have a business that could support them anymore. And I should have seen that and made a decision about that months and months and months earlier. But during that season, it was really cool because I got to learn how to love what I do without making tons and tons of money. I got to learn how to be a leader through difficult and hard times. I got to learn how to make really big and painful, hard decisions as a leader and carry that weight in a new way. I learned how to get my hands dirty again. You know, I had 3 assistants that helped out with everything I didn't want to do around the house, around the business. And we had to figure out that what it looked like to stretch our capacity again. I had to take on all these jobs again that in my pride and arrogance, I didn't believe I had to do anymore. And so it caused me to face humility again. And truly in that season, I learned to be present and not need growth and money to be happy and to be okay. And when money came again, I felt like I had a healthier relationship towards it as a result of that really hard season. The other thing I learned really deeply at my core is that there's no such thing as family culture at a company. Family cannot exist at a company. I hear so many companies trying to create this family culture. Salesforce even calls their culture Ohana and says that they value connection, fun, love, joy, and even use the word family, Ohana, which means family in Hawaiian. But that doesn't exist. They just laid off thousands and thousands and thousands of employees overnight, people that showed up to work and weren't even told that they didn't have a job anymore. They showed up and all of their accounts and everything were turned off. Their security badges wouldn't allow them in the building. And Ohana didn't exist anymore, right? It's actually all a team. Companies can only be a team. There can be a value for connection. There can be a value for fun. There can be a value for love and joy. But at the end of the day, if you're no longer valuable to the business, then there's no relationship. In family, it's not about what you can give me. It's not a transactional force inside of that relationship. Family is not about transaction. And with a business, with a company, it has to be about transaction. There isn't always a constant exchange in family, though. In business, you can never use the word family when you're discussing a culture because inevitably it's going to create expectations that bring a larger disappointment than the pain that you could have experienced just while creating a good team environment. There's so much more that I can share because obviously this was a long season of going through this, but as we're extremely healthy now as a company and getting healthier and healthier every day, I realized this past season brought me so many lessons into my world. And I hope after watching this video, you can learn some of those lessons that I learned without having to go through all of that stuff yourself. But if you want more content like this, smash that subscribe button, throw us a like, and hit the notification bell so you don't find out about the video a month later. Also, throw me some comments if you relate to anything I shared today. If you've gone through anything similar also, let us know what other content you want from us because we want you to be a part of this as much as we want to create fun content for you guys. I would hate to just talk at a camera and talk to this audience that doesn't get any value from the things that I'm sharing. And so I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for giving your attention to the videos like this. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.